Hello and welcome back to the PLP. A day late in terms of drama. Fortunately couldn't lend my voice to yesterday's action and it was an absolute stormer. 2-4-3 matches. We had one game with 4 penalties. I lost to a 90th minute winner, somewhat unfairly, I would argue. And yeah, there was also drama in the National League Prem from the weekend, which saw otbCraig lose their grip on that first spot even more. They've not won in 5 games now, and it's another tricky one in the highlighted match today, away at LuTom. And that's where we're going first. We've got 4 games actually in this sort of NLP special. And the first thing that stands out immediately is the ever-present Tom Lockyer at the back for Tom Netcruise's boys. He went to great lengths at the end of the transfer window last week to try and avoid that eventuality. He brought in Dragicen, who's on the bench, also got rid of Mangala and Phil Neville to try and bring in Kolo Touré. Touré's not even made the bench for the second time in 3 days. Tom Lockyer is the only mainstay, in fact, across those 2 matches. This time joined by Van Hecker. It was Neil Ruddock the other day. That ended up being a win for LuTom at the weekend. No, it didn't. No, sorry, it was a 4-2 loss. It was a really good performance, but he lost 4-2 away at NottinGiant Forest, so it's 2 all-draft matchups for him in the space of 3 days. And in theory, playing top of the table you'd think would be the trickier of those 2, but Craig cannot buy a win at the moment. And he's not made a good start here today either. Could be no wins in 6 if Rosler's Open is a sign of things to come. It's the lack of Carlton Palmer shoring up the midfield and a lack of Callum Wilson up front. And to be frank, everything's gone to shit for Sven's men. Craig did ponder that maybe Sven is off somewhere with someone new. Top shagger, he poised, and it's 2-0. Sure, he'd rather see Kolo Touré there, but not bad for a centre-back popping up with a goal. Paid a princely sum for Dragicen as well. It's 25 million from Thomas, plus losing Mangala and Phil Neville just to get Kolo over the line. But it was a good performance. Despite losing the other day, he was quite unfortunate to lose away at NottinGiant. And I'd go as far as confirming he's not going to lose today. What has happened to otbCraig? Upson now spaffing it into his own goal. So weird, it's largely the same team that started off the season so strong. 21 games, the first 21 games of the season, completely unbeaten. And pretty much since then, he's now gone 6 without a win. Impossible to explain, minus that injury to Carlton Palmer. Fuck. And I mean, at the moment, the only thing keeping him top is goal difference. Another half like this, Marshyside won't even need to play their game later to go top. Could get worse. It's got worse. 5 unanswered first half goals. I thought the game between Cheshampton and the Skyloos was mental enough yesterday. We had 4 goals in the first half, including 3 penalties. One of those missed. Ended up 5-1 in the end that game. But this is something else. Bizarrely no subs at half time. Not really sure what you can do at this stage. Problem is, if you're going into the playoff situation instead, obviously still great chance of going up. But the other four, who he's likely to be up against, the other four drafters, are going to have more momentum than he has, ironically. LuTom going in for the kill. Move to a 4-2-4 while 5-0 up. Proof of LuTom's quite unfortunate loss the other day, actually. A couple of their players got in the National League Prem Team of the Week, despite losing 4-2. One of those being Julian Alvarez. Doesn't help when your replacement striker misses from 4 yards. Matthew Upson playing a 5.9. We've got Kevin Phillips now coming on for a rare appearance. He was denied a January move, actually. Marshyside now only need a draw in their game later today to go top for the first time this season. Petrovic having a nap. Can't blame him, to be honest. All change. I say it as if it's a foregone conclusion that Marshyside will now go top. Rob's team have been in imperious form in recent weeks, just churning out narrow wins, but wins nonetheless. But Burnley B, as we'll see here, are one of the teams in amongst those playoff positions, above Manchester for the moment, although David Moyes' arrival seems to have turned a corner slightly for them. But yeah, definitely away at Burnley B, it's not an easy game in the context of this division. But he just seems to be doing enough in every single game lately. A lot of 1-0s, a lot of 2-1s. And they are the informed team, unbeaten in the last 5 at least. Boxic's arrival has been pretty successful, picked up in the waivers in January, minus that pretty glaring miss. I was about to say the Palmer pickup last summer was even more inspired. Managed to curse him without actually saying the words that time. To be honest, for the chasing pack, and that includes LuTom with their pretty emphatic 3 points just now. Gourlayverpool, you'd put in that bracket, and NottinGiant, a draw, or even better still, a loss here for Marshyside would open the door to a pretty dramatic final couple of months of this season. If that 1-horse race from 6 weeks ago could suddenly turn into a 5-horse race. Gotta love the drama, Mick. Boxic with other ideas so far. I can't believe we only played 11 minutes of this game. It's been non-stop Marshyside. Great effort. Jesus, how's that not got in? So, another post. Set pieces galore for the first half hour. Both teams. Very, very typical Marshyside performance so far. That pick up at Boxic, obviously still waiting for Van Nistelrooy to come back, which is quite ominous for the rest of those sort of 4 challengers, as I mentioned earlier. Hoyland wasn't really doing the business up top. You don't really want Son through the middle. So it was a pretty clever pickup. He was the highest rated on paper of all the available free agents. Nobody else wanted him. This feels like a bit of a turning point in the season, more generally. He's going to go 3 points clear, goal difference where he was lacking has been chipped into with a 7 or 6 goal swing at least, depending on the rest of this game. Not at least, I guess. Depends if Burnley score. But yeah, potentially 6 goal swing. Sitting pretty, the team who finished 23rd in League 2 last year, so it would have been favourites, in theory, for the National League Prem title this year. They're just solid. There's a lot of age on the pitch, I would suggest. Interesting to see what Marshy does in the summer, if he does go up. Finally, Weghorst, for about the 5th time, managed to actually hit the net. There's me talking about this 3-point cushion at the top. It's not over the line just yet. Yapstam move to right back, Marshy's favourite. He's going to kick off if they concede here. It's Weghorst. Oh, is it a post again? This is so indicative of the run that Marshy's on recently. Skin of the teeth stuff, but top of the table. Glenn Roeder's Tottenham D. Up against Craig D, as in Craig Daniels of NottinGiant Forest. Vialli and Morientes up front the other day in that 4-2 win. I think Vialli got 2, Morientes got 1 on the day. Got quite a lot of other strike options, but you can definitely see why they've stuck with those 2, even if it is 2 games in 3 days for their ageing limbs. fact, it's pretty much the same team. I think it was Souček instead of Aaron Moy at the weekend. Other than that, I think there's a change at right back. It's the only other switch. Gourlay coming in today. Always a pleasure. Tottenham D, meanwhile, graced with the extremely familiar strike force of Janssen and Gordon Drury. They've obviously been doing a few transfer dealings themselves. Ended up with Manuel Almunia in goal. And Liam Bridcut in centre midfield. I think they're another team that have been threatening the playoff places so far this season. So not an easy game away from home. Pretty solid centre-back partnership of Chiriches and Nabet for people that remember him. Mountainous Moroccan. And it's Solomon. I said the door was ajar for teams like NottinGiant. I need to open it and walk through it. Should have a lot of firepower on the bench, the likes of Yeboah, Dion Dublin potentially. Not a great start. Brian Roy's there as well, I think. Nothing yet. So it's only Gourlayverpool to follow today. Manchester staff not in action today because they're playing at the weekend while... Oh, dear me. 4 of the others are still in the FA Trophy. Manchester staff's away at QPR's 2024 team next weekend. Elsewhere this week we've got EFL Trophy quarter-final action. We've got an FA Cup 4th round replay tomorrow, as well as League 1 and League 2. And then we go into Saturday, which is, again, League 1, League 2, alongside Liam's NLP game and the FA Trophy. So not a rammed week, but still action on all the days you'd expect. This is definitely not a result we expected. It could get worse. Erratic. It seems like everyone except for their 2 strikers have had a shot. Maybe that's why. Erratic finishing on both sides, in fact. Badly timed defeat, this one. Looks off. No, 3-0. Jamie Donnelly. Compounding what is a pretty horrid result for Craig. Not a good day to be a Craig, in fact. Bolger can thank his lucky stars he hasn't got a game. It's not the day for Craigs. That leaves us with just one more today. Gourlayverpool up against Palace C. Pretty funky names in amongst their team. And again, they're not a million miles away from the playoffs, but you would think home advantage will play a bit of a part for Thomas Gourlay's team, hoping to replicate what his mate MATTch did earlier and put himself ever so slightly back into the promotion picture. Automatic, that is. You'd hope that the playoffs will be a formality from this point. Also, like MATTch, Gourlay was active on transfer deadline day. Just the one deal, but it was a pretty well conceived one. Not sure how that counts as Demba Ba's goal. Didn't it bounce off someone else? Is that Bar there? Everyone missed it from there? Surely that's not Bar's goal. Anyway, he won't be complaining, especially now he's going to have to look over his shoulder a little bit. He's got Ravanelli joined the club, along with Rafael Varane, which was a hell of a pickup. He hasn't got in the team today somehow. Jarell Quansah and Johnny Evans apparently deemed more ready to play than Varane. In exchange, Tom let Craig Gordon go, but I'm guessing he was just collateral in alongside the main target, which was Antoine Semenyo. They're both been shipped off to Dauncey's Devils in League 1. Top of League 1. League 2, sorry. League 2. Tom wishes. So no run out for Varane, but if barring a disaster and more drama, just as I say that, saw Attilio Lombardo's lovely bald head pop up at the back post there. He was definitely being scouted by a couple of people over the course of January. Kiefer Moore wasn't. Maybe he should have been. And again, my commentary curse has struck. Every time I say something, the opposite happens. It's unbelievable. Paul Dummett to Kiefer Moore. Very familiar sight in Crystal Palace colours, of course. And that is 2 massive points dropped. Out of nowhere. It's their first shot on target. So really, this day has belonged to LuTom. And to Marshy, of course, who's now top of the NLP, as we'll see in a sec. There we go. With a game in hand, I forgot to mention as well, so that 3 points could easily become 6 quite soon. LuTom, the interesting one there. If they win their game in hand, they go to 70, only 5 behind otbCraig, which sounds a lot, but Marshyside were a lot further back than that not so long ago. But with only one automatic place, it really is Marshyside that everyone else needs to drop points now. The other interesting one there is Manchester. Obviously didn't play today, got a couple of games in hand, but have dropped down to 11th, thanks to those points from Palace C, Tottenham D, and I think Bournemouth B in other games as well. So David Moyes is going to need to continue that revival if they're to get back into that playoff picture. Anyway, that's everything for today. Back with League 1 and League 2 tomorrow. Catch you then.